guys, welcome to my channel. My name is ReadingBear and I hope you are ready for some more stories. And today, we'll take a look at some new entitled people content. If you enjoyed my content, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and post some bear emojis in the comment. And now, let's dive right into the stories.
The first story is an entitled people story. The best pro-revenge story I have ever witnessed involved a neighbor who we'll refer to as Fig Jam, short for, Duck I'm Good, Just Ask Me. Fig Jam was notorious for moving into new homes and picking fights with all their neighbors, often leading to their eventual relocation. They firmly believed that everyone else was the problem, never taking responsibility for their own behavior. To illustrate just how terrible Fig Jam and their wife Idiotboats were, after 10 years of stirring up trouble with every neighbor they could find, they decided to move out of their home. However, they had one last douchebag move to pull off as a parting gift. When they were packing up their house, Fig Jam dropped their birdbath, breaking it into pieces. Instead of accepting responsibility for their actions, they called the police and accused my father of breaking their birdbath in the middle of the night while wearing a balaclava for no reason. The police arrived, listened to both sides of the story, and went on their way. This type of behavior continued for over a decade. In general, they were just massive pieces of crap. One day, their neighbor Jim, who lived over the back fence, received a strange legal document indicating that Fig Jam intended to sue him over a tree in his yard. According to Fig Jam, the tree's roots had allegedly traveled 20 meters down the hill, damaged Jim's pool pump, and broken its piping. Jim was perplexed by the accusations and brought in a plumber who happened to be a close friend to dig up the trench and extract the roots for DNA testing in a lab. They left no stone unturned, bringing in 15 people on site, including bobcats and other heavy equipment, to make the trench as expensive as possible. The DNA test results showed that the roots were, in fact, from Fig Jam's tree, which was much closer to Jim's pool pump than anyone had anticipated. When Fig Jam lost the case, they were held liable for all of Jim's legal defense expenses and every activity taken to clear his name. The plumber and lab charged Fig Jam $30,000 for their services, and it couldn't have happened to a more deserving person. But that's not where the story ends. After Jim's victory, Fig Jam and their wife moved to another house in a neighboring city. Unfortunately for them, the house they purchased had some serious foundation issues. Fig Jam decided to cut corners and make some DIY repairs instead of hiring professionals, which ultimately caused the house to collapse, killing Fig Jam and their wife. It's a tragic ending, but it serves as a reminder that karma always catches up with you, and it's better to treat others with kindness and respect than to be a massive piece of crap. The next story is titled You Don't Want to Listen to the Reason? Okay, fine. So, this story is not mine but a close male friend about 10 years ago. My friend was a teacher at an intermediate, ages 11 and 12. We were all early in our careers. We would have been about 23 years old at the time, experienced enough to be comfortable but dumb enough to still make silly mistakes. Here in NZ at the start of the school year we all have mandatory swimming classes through our school ages. The problem is that this usually occurs in March or April when the weather starts to get cooler. On top of that, most of our pools around the country are not heated and I personally have traumatic memories of jumping into sub-10 degrees Celsius water for the 1-hour session. Because of these problems along with general adolescent indifference, every single swimming class at least 5 people try to get out of the class. The most common excuses being, I'm not feeling well, and I forgot my togs. Togs equals swimwear in NZ. If students forget their togs, they were often prescribed to write lines as their punishment, which means on a notepad they write a sentence over and over again until the end of the class. Think Bart Simpson on the blackboard during the opening theme song. Back to my friend, he was at the back end of the year's swimming season seeing endless excuses from his students, some legit but most BS. He had one of his final classes. On this particular day one girl said that she wasn't swimming today, a situation he was all too familiar with by now, which went something like this. Girl: Sir, I'm not swimming today. Friend: Okay, start writing your lines. Girl: Okay, but. Friend: I don't want to hear your excuses, go. Girl: What do I write? Friend: Whatever your excuse was going to be. The swimming class ends and the kids who didn't participate handed in their lines. After school my friend inspects the lines to see if they wrote an adequate number of lines over the hour until he got to the girl piece of paper which was completely filled with one sentence over and over. I will never have my period again. I will never have my period again. He was absolutely mortified as he is usually identified as one of the cool teachers and pretty good with the sensitivities around his students. There's no massive blow-up or huge consequences from this story besides he was deeply apologetic the next day to the girl and learned his lesson to listen to his students' excuses from then on. The next story is entitled Mom Demands I Tutor Her Child. I'm an English teacher. Love the job, mostly love my students and their parents. I feel blessed that most parents are good people. They are worried about their children and progress, can be angry but can always be reasoned with. I get positive feedback on my teaching and managing my classes and the students. Parents are generally happy with me. Unfortunately, I still have to deal with entitled parents from time to time. The Karens of parenthood. This year I have 4 classes of last year students. They will take their exams and with a bit of luck I can shake their hands at graduation and wish them the best in their future education and life when they get their diploma. To get to that point they still need to take exams for their subjects, mine included. They can work in the digital books or in their regular, paper-bound ones. I don't really care what works best for them. I also don't mind tutoring, but I have my conditions. You do your homework. You pay attention. If, when you think you understand, you can start on the homework. You do not interrupt me when I'm talking, explaining. You ask questions. Basically, the basics of what a student should do. This class knows exactly what the days and times are of their test, including the material. I made those dates known 2 months in advance as I know that some really could use that time. I have uploaded everything in Google Classroom concerning the materials of the last 3 tests along with links and materials for extra practice. Enter entitled student, S doesn't work on my subject in class. I have corrected him numerous times, sent numerous emails to his parents and team led about his behavior and have had many meetings with all parties involved. Promises are made by him and his parents about bettering himself. He knows and understands that what he does isn't good for him and doesn't help creating a healthy learning environment. For added info, he doesn't have any learning difficulties, mental health issues or anything. This behavior was known in primary school and the years before. School isn't a priority, his own words. I have offered tutoring on the previously named conditions and told him that with his current behavior he can't get my tutoring. He's free to ask other teachers, but at the risk they will ask me about him, refer him back to me and/or refuse him. Both him and his parents understand that and have said so. They agreed with what was said. To the story. Exams are coming up. He has not done a thing. Every advice has been given, a lot has been practiced. They are drilled on all the strategies, tricks and everything they might encounter. Then the week before the holidays, there are no classes. Students can make appointments with teachers or teachers can invite students for extra help etc. I have sent 2 different emails to 2 different groups per class. Both students and parents got this email. One saying that said student is more than welcome to come at XYZ time if needed, but I need to know if a student comes and what they want to know so I can provide material. I sent a couple of links with extra material to practice for good measure. I sent another email to another group per class. I basically told the parents and students that although I'm disappointed that they didn't do the work in and for class for the exams, I'm willing to tutor them at YYS time in this week, same amount of time as the students who did put in the effort. Along with material and links. Why did I do this? Quite simple, I want my students to pass. Some were lazy because they have good grades and understanding of the material. However, some don't and are just lazy. I don't want them to fail and then retake the year. Also, it puts me in the parents' and school's good books. You know, in case things go to heck. The same information is also posted in their Google Classroom space. I get several responses thanking me for my time and effort, especially for those who didn't do a thing in class. 3 students took me up on the offer. They came, we discussed some things, practiced some more. So, the week for tutoring ends, time slots are over and then it happens. I get an email from entitled Parent, EP. Mother to S last Friday evening. She wanted to know if there was another possibility for her son to have some tutoring. Since I needed to reply to a different email, I also responded to EP and told her no. The holidays start on Monday, this Monday, last for 2 weeks, Mondays are my day off, Tuesday I am not at school due to private matters, husband has surgery, I'm taking him, and Wednesday is the test for my subject. He's had the entire week to come to the different times stipulated in Google Classroom and the email. For good measure, I asked if a colleague wanted to help in our teacher group chat. 3 said that they wouldn't mind. I suggest to entitled mom to email these colleagues of mine and see if one of them has time on the Monday, Tuesday before the exam on Wednesday. On Saturday EP sent an email to me demanding that I tutor her son. Her reasoning? He needs it, so I should just do it. He's my student and it's my job. No one else. I've got holidays now, so I should have plenty of time to help her son out. I don't respond. It's my holiday, and after 2 near burnouts I've learned my lesson about not working in the holidays. It's Wednesday now and this woman has sent no less than 22 emails. I just had contact with a colleague who is like the team lead of my department of students. He is pissed and will deal with it. I'm so glad that this parent doesn't have my number. The next story is titled "You're Discriminating Against People Who Don't Drive." This literally just happened. I work at a higher-end clothing store, and I tend not to get too many out there customers, but this guy took the cake. A man came in with about 3 small children, shopped around for about a half hour, while running me completely ragged in the process, and then went to pay for his items. He has a store credit card with us, but he didn't have it on him. I said, "No problem, I can look it up with your driver's license or a state ID." "Oh, I don't drive." "Here, I'll show you my passport." "Sir, our computer does not scan passports as a valid form of ID. The scanner only responds to driver's licenses or state IDs. But a passport is a better form of ID than a driver's license. This is Uncle Sam right here. I understand, but our computer system only scans driver's licenses or state IDs. But a passport is a government-issued ID. Yes, but our computer physically cannot scan a passport. I can only scan a driver's license, or a state-issued ID. Well, I'll just take my business elsewhere then." He proceeded to storm out of the store, and honestly I was a little bit relieved, until about 5 minutes later he comes barging back into the store. "Here, I found my ID. Now please look up my credit card." He pulls out his passport. "Sir, I cannot accept this as a duck. Scan it. This is my ID. You are discriminating against people that don't drive. Would you like me to call customer service and see if there is anything they can do for you?" "No, I don't want you to call customer service. I want you to scan my ID and look up my credit card." At this point, my manager sees the commotion going on, comes over to help me out, and tells this guy exactly what I've been repeating to him for the last 10 minutes. We apologize to him for the inconvenience, and even offer him a coupon, but he just keeps yelling and ranting and raving. Finally, he takes his kids, swears he will never shop with us again, is reporting us for discrimination, storms out of the store for a second time, and gets into a car and drives away. The next story is titled "Can I Get a 4 p.m. Checkout?" Says the Booking.com dude paying $69 on a sold-out, hectic weekend. Booking.com guest, BG, calls down at 8 a.m. and says, "I requested a late checkout and wanted to make sure that went through. Weird, because 1, there's nothing noted on the reservation, 2, we were sold out and not offering late checkouts, and 3, they were paying $69 for their room. Me. I'm sorry, but that was not noted here, and we are not able to offer late checkout at this time. BG. I requested online on Booking.com. Me. I'm sorry, but that's a request, not a guarantee. Booking.com also didn't notify us of that request, so you should contact them if there was a miscommunication. BG. I stay here every weekend and always get a late checkout. Me. I'm sorry, but you've only stayed here once before. We were nice enough to offer you a late checkout because we were only 40% occupied. Today I am 100% sold out. So, your checkout time is at noon today. BG. I want to speak to a manager. Me. I am the manager, and I am telling you that I cannot offer you. BG. That's just weird because every time the manager has given us a late checkout. You can ask her. When does she get in? Me. I am the only manager available today. Your checkout time is at noon, sir. If we weren't so busy, then I would just love to give you a later checkout time. But today we cannot offer late checkouts to anyone. BG. I don't understand how I can always get a late checkout at 4 p.m. but you are telling me that I can't. Me. Like I said, it's based on availability. I cannot offer late checkouts today because I am 100% sold out. And housekeeping staff needs time to ensure all rooms are clean and serviced. That is why you cannot have a late checkout. BG continues to argue with me at this point and tells me the other manager gives him a late checkout at 4 p.m. I'm tired and cranky and not wanting to deal with it, so I say, look, If you are going to make a huge deal about a late checkout, because the other manager has approved of your last stay as a late checkout, I will go ahead and approve of it just for you. 1 p.m. is the only available time I can give you. Well, rather than take the 1 p.m. and thank me, this prick continues to argue. BG. I'll take the 1 p.m., but if you call your other manager and ask her, you'll find it weird because she will say she has always given me a 4 p.m. checkout. I just don't understand why you can't give me that. I stayed here every weekend, and you were not slow. You were booked up top to bottom. Me. Sir, I.e. worked every weekend for the last year. And every weekend since July has not been sold out. I can tell you that right now. And I don't know how your information would differ from mine because you don't have access to our system to check availability. I am trying to be nice and help you out with a later checkout time that I'm not even supposed to be giving anyone. So, at this time, this is my final offer. 1 p.m. checkout or nothing. He then starts yelling at me and calling me a liar and accusing me of being racist. So, I hang up. Every 5 minutes afterwards he calls back down to harass me an idiot about why I deserved a 4 p.m. checkout instead of 1 p.m. I'd repeat myself and say, 1 p.m. is the latest time I can offer you. He would hand his phone to his girlfriend or say, "Can you believe this? She says XYZ" to her in the background. The girlfriend would say, "That's not what you said the last phone call." If I would repeat myself and say, "I'm the only manager available," or, "This is why I can't offer you a late checkout." By the 5th time he called down, I was done. I was tired and cranky and heavily pregnant, having Braxton Hicks contractions. So, I snapped as soon as they started mentioning 4 p.m. checkout. BG. Yeah, I just don't get it. Why can't we have a 4 p.m. checkout? Me. Okay, you know what, sir? You are just calling down to harass and disrespect me at this point by calling me a racist liar and arguing with me. And I am not okay with this. I've gone above and beyond to at least offer you a 1 p.m. checkout since it is that important to you. But since you don't want to take that offer and continue to call down every 5 minutes to be rude to me, I am taking my offer back and asking you to leave the property. You have 30 minutes to gather your things and leave. Failure to leave will result in the police escorting you out of the hotel. We do not want your further business, and I will be sure to let Booking.com know that you were being rude and disrespectful by calling by a racist liar even after trying to help you out. They will be informed to ban you from booking a reservation here. So please do not come back. Our system will cancel any reservation you book with us outside of Booking.com. Thank you and have a great day. Click. Didn't hear back from them but saw an angry dude grumbling something to himself about our crappy little hotel while getting a luggage cart. Called the room 45 minutes later and no answer. Good riddance. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel and post some bear emojis in the comments.